everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you the painting process of a waterfall at Doi Suthep. If this is the first time that you are here, welcome. My channel is about documenting my family's relocation to Chiang Mai for 2.5 years in gouache painting processes that I will be bringing you through. Have you also wondered how different ancient cultures perceived and paint waterfall? I will also bring you through some of the ancient masters' works to feel different cultural approach to waterfall expressions. In the last video, I had shown you the process of painting the mountain cafe on Doi Suthep. Today, we are still on Doi Suthep, but at different waterfall locations on the mountain. So I have decided to capture this part of the video where I can see a combination of wood logs and waterfall in a picture for the painting today. Let's get into the painting right now. I'm going to paint an A6 size portrait sketch. So that's why I'm taping up my A5 landscape sketchbook into half. It is always helpful to have any watercolor pencil. In this case, I'm using an oil pastel pencil with a lighter color like orchid yellow here to roughly draw out the placement of the bigger objects that I can see in my picture. I always have the mindset that when I draw, my drawing can never be exactly the same like the photo I'm referencing from. Sketching is always an impression of what I see and an expression. I'm always amazed at how much elements are being left out in the painting when I compare it to the actual photo. I am now putting in some watery gouache paint that can also act like watercolor paint as a first background color of my sketch. I will usually see the whole photo color tone, whether it leans towards warm or cool color. For example, if my photo has a lot of blue tones, I will use a light blue first. If it has a lot of earthly tones like brown, orange or red, orchid color will be the one to go. I am now identifying the shadows from the photo and start to paint them in first. This part is like a foundation to start to form the placements of each element into the painting. When the shadows are roughly done, I will start to add in another color at this point that represents a different plane of each element. When this part is done, more parts of the sketch will be blocked up with color and it will be much easier to distinguish between different elements of the painting after this stage. At this point, I wanted to add 2 green colors that are outside of my standard 5 color palette. I will show you later that it is a grave mistake to be doing this, as I find the color totally not harmonizing with the rest of my color palette. I initially wanted to add in some brighter green colors to my painting. Maybe I find my painting too muted in earth tones, not much of a contrast or surprising color or nice color, and kind of like to have some bright natural colors. However, the addition of these green colors created a very stark contrast with my current colors used, and I have to think of ways to replace those leaves. So I started to use back my 5-color palette to mix a green from there. The outcome is much harmonizing and natural. It doesn't really pops out or shout out on its own, but it blends in well with the rest of the elements in the sketch. I have a relief after seeing the change, and I'm glad that gouache is a very good medium for allowing this kind of color layering for changes. Have you ever wondered how different artists in different civilizations in the ancient time perceived and expressed nature's waterfall? I am curious myself, so I researched a bit, and the painting style turns out to be drastically different. Let's see the first one. In this Chinese painting by Gong Xian, 1688, he used light watered down ink to paint the waterfall, making it look soft and misty. The changes in the ink tone give the feeling of water flowing down the rocks. This waterfall painting by John Henry Dutchman has a really loose impressionistic style. The waterfall isn't sharply outlined. Instead, it's made up of quick, lively brushstrokes that blend into the rocks and greenery. This gives the water a sense of constant motion. This Japanese woodblock print of Qigong Waterfall by Keisa Yaisen shows the waterfall in a bold graphical style. Due to it being a print, the waterfall is expressed as a solid vertical column of blue color, almost like a curtain cutting through the cliffs. It feels powerful and dramatic. This painting is linked to the Mughal artists who work in the courts of the Mughal emperors in India. The waterfall painting approach is more about soft curves and flowing lines that give you the idea of water cascading down. It looks like it's gently spilling out of the hillside rather than rushing out dramatically. Okay, so I will continue into my painting. How do you feel after seeing different styles of paintings coming from the masters? Have you ever wondered that you would like to set up a style of your own too? On a personal note, I would just like to say, start painting. Because as you start painting, you will start to have a preference over certain styles of expression. Like myself, as I start painting, I start to find out that I do not really like painting watercolor over the permanent ink. I was doing that for about 3 to 4 years. But as I practice more and see more references, I begin to find myself leaning more to certain style and art forms. Looking at those kind of works makes me really happy, so that's part of the reason why I started doing gouache. Mr. David Hockney's works always inspires me. I can't post his works here due to copyright issues, but if you have seen his paintings too, maybe you will feel the same like me, that he paints from his heart and with a very calm presence. On the first few pages of his book, Moving Focus, he wrote this down. When you are painting, it's now. I like to live in the now. This painting has come to an end. Thanks for painting with me today. If you enjoyed this gouache painting video, give me a like. It helps the YouTube algorithm shows you more art videos like this. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss my next painting session in Chiang Mai. Thank you.